Leadership is probably the #1 cheat code to exponentially growing your business. And in this video, I'm going to show you the 5-step proven framework that I've used and taught other entrepreneurs how to use so they can start working in their business and working on it by developing their team the right way. So listen, make sure you have your pen, your paper, your notepad out, and let's get the video started. So one of the main things that people don't understand in leading an organization or leading a team is that it just takes a simple framework. And that framework we're going to use is called trust. TRUST. So if you follow this simple framework, it will lead you down the path to these 5 simple steps. If you do it correctly and you do them effectively, you should have an easy time in leading your team and getting to the position where you are the leader that you desire to be. Because how would you feel if you were able to wake up every morning, go to your business, go to your sales team, go to your organization, whatever you're doing, and you feel excited? Why? Because not only are you more productive, but your team's more productive, they're happier, and they want to do more. Because I want to tell you this, a happy team creates more revenue, more money. A happy team and a happy organization will get you to your dream way faster than you could ever imagine. So we're going to start with this framework. The first part of the framework, the first T in trust, stands for truth. And you want to make sure you write these notes. And listen, if you take notes, drop them in the comments and let everybody who may not be able to take notes right now get the notes from you. So the first is truth. And what is truth? You have to build a business around truth, because if there's not truth in your organization and it's not built on honesty and trust, it's going to fail. And with truth simply means honesty versus loyalty. And listen, one of the biggest mistakes that leaders make in their organization, that business owners make, is that they try to build their business, they try to build their sales organization or whatever off of loyalty. And the problem with building your organization off of loyalty is that you create a slave mentality. Why? Because what loyalty is something that should be reserved for family. And I'll tell you a quick story. I remember when I first got started in business and entrepreneurship, I started and I had started building a sales organization. I started getting involved in sales, and I was actually able to start leading an organization, leading a sales team. And one of the things that I messed up, I was young and I didn't understand this, was I tried to create a business off of loyalty. So I started telling our sales team that, we're a family vibe, that we need to be loyal to each other. But what that does, it breeds slave mentality. Why? Because in business, you do not want loyalty. You want trust. You want to be able to have honesty and trust. Why? Because business is transactional. So no matter how, I know people hate this word. They're like, they're transactional. Well, yes, business is transactional. Why? Because there has to be a mutual value shift, right? It has to be worth it. You have to add value to your team, and your teams add value to you. So if you're exchanging value with each other, you have to build it off of honesty. You have to build it off of trust. If you build it off of loyalty, you create a slave mentality. And what happens is your A players, the best people in your organization, the best managers you have, or C-suite individuals you have, or best team members you have, they will leave in the middle of the night. Why? Because they feel like if they have to be loyal to you, what you're saying would be loyal to me is that no matter what, are you loyal? No matter what, are you going to be loyal to me? So they feel scared to leave, or they feel scared of telling you they have problems or issues, that they want to seek out better opportunities because they feel like they're being disloyal. But instead of loyalty, you want to have honesty. You want to have, or another word for honesty, trust. Right? And what does that mean? That no matter what happens in the organization, no matter what they do, you want the best for them. So when I started building a business off of loyalty, I had people who would get fined or go to new opportunities where they felt less like they had to be connected to me, or they had to not disappoint me. But when I changed and started building off of trust, and I made people feel like, okay, I want your best interest at heart, when they would get better job opportunities, when they would have issues, they would come and talk to me. Not because I was their parent or they felt like they had to ask permission. They talked to me because they felt like we had trust. They felt like I was going to be honest with them and not gaslight them, or not manipulate them to staying, to saying, oh, why are you not being loyal? No, they understood that I want the best for you. When I had people leave my sales team and get other jobs or go to do other things or go do that, chase their dreams or passions, I'll be like, listen, I'm happy for you. Or I'll go out and do that if it's a better opportunity. And if it's not, if I saw and I was like, maybe it's not a better opportunity, I was like, listen, what are we doing wrong? What can we actually help and do better so that way you want to stay? And a lot of my A players would stay because I built trust. So you're gonna ask yourself, in your organization, are you building honesty and trust in your organization, or are you just going off of loyalty, off of family vibes? The only people who should be loyal to you is your family, because no matter if you add value to them or not, they want you around. Like I have family members that we don't have I don't add really value to their life besides me being who I am, but they're loyal to me because we're family. We have the same last name. We're blood. They may be uncle, aunt, cousin, or brother, whoever, but you cannot build your business off of loyalty. You have to build it off of honesty. But I want you to understand that is just the first step in the trust framework. So the first thing you have is your T, which is truth. But now is the nitty gritty where most people fail at and where you may struggle at, which is the R. And the R is relationships. You got to be able to build great relationships. And why is building relationships important? Is because, like I said, business is transactional. You have to be able to build great relationships with your team, because if you don't understand who your team is, if they don't know who you are as people and as what you're trying to collaborate with in order to be great, it's not going to work. So when you're building relationships with your team, you have to understand this. You need to connect with whoever it is. Now, some of you watching this, you may have hundreds of employees. Some of you may only have three team members or whatever. You need to be able to build relationships. If you have a big team, you need to build relationships with your managers or high level leaders. If you have a small team, you need to build relationships with everybody. If you have a smaller team. But if you have a big team, managers and high level leaders. And how do you build relationships with people? You need to figure out what their goals, dreams, aspirations are, how they are as people, what makes them. Not saying you have to be best friends with everybody in your organization. That's not going to be the case. You're not going to be best friends with everybody. But you need to understand what they like. Because listen, every single person's favorite radio station is WIIFM. What does that stand for? What's in it for me? Every single person has a piece of them, no matter how selfless they say they are, no matter how caring and loving they are. Every single person has a bit in them that they care about what is in it for me. So you have to get to know the people in your organization. You have to get to know what their desires are, what they like, what they want, because it helps breed a culture and it helps make you a leader or make you a person where people say they actually care about me. And you should actually care about them. I'm not saying fake care. I'm not saying just be a person who is lying to your team and say, oh, and you say, I really don't care. Listen, you have to first love your team. The biggest leadership hurdle is that people don't really love their customers. They don't really love their team. They don't really love the business that they're in. And until you do that, you won't be able to be the leader that you need to be in order to grow your business or grow your organization, whatever you're doing, to the level that you want to. So you have to build relationships. Relationships are key. Relationships are some of the greatest currency, right? And you can read books on this, like How to Win and Influence People by Dale Carnegie, or other leadership books by like John C. Maxwell are great at developing the leaders around you. You have to be able to create relationships in your organization that are a success. But let's say you do those two things right. You build your business off of truth. You create relationships. The third thing you need to do is create unity. And what is unity in your organization? You need to have a vision. And if I could draw, which I can't, I suck at drawing. These are supposed to be eyes. I know these eyes are trash. These are supposed to be eyes. You have to have a vision, right? I want you to understand, what is your vision for your business? What is a vision for your organization? Now, you may have that written down somewhere. You may have that, but you need to be communicating your vision to the people. Listen, that is shown everywhere in the Bible. It says, if the people perish because of lack of vision. So you have to have vision. Listen, your business will perish if there's a lack of vision. You will not be able to go as far as you want. Most business owners feel like they're stuck. They feel like they're overwhelmed, and their team is not as productive because they don't have a vision and they don't understand how to communicate that vision effectively to your team. So how do you communicate that vision collectively or correctively? You need to, number one, be speaking this vision consistently. So when you have meetings, are you saying the vision? Listen, guys, our vision, our goal is to set out to help this many people or to hit this revenue goal. Like, what is the vision? And when you have a common vision, now, okay, I have the vision. We go back to the relationships. How can I tie what my people's personal goals? How do I tie their personal goals to the overall vision? How do I get them to see themselves in this piece? So if you're a sales manager and you have a sales team, maybe, I don't know, you're a car salesman or whatever, you have a sales team. Maybe your vision is to sell 100 cars. Well, how do I communicate that vision to my people? Well, when you have conversations with your team, you speak that vision to your whole organization. Guys, listen, our goal is we want to sell 100 cars. We want to help 100 families get a new car. Okay, so now I talk to Susan on the side. Well, Susan tells me that she wants to get, she figure out what Susan wants in life. Like, Susan, what's going on? Like, what's your goal? Like, what you trying to have your 2025 look like? Oh, she wants to get her son his college tuition paid off. Okay, Susan, I gotta ask you a question. How many cars do we have to sell to get this tuition paid? I'm gonna help you get this tuition paid. Now, I am becoming a better leader. Why? Because now I'm not just worried about, Susan, you need to sell cars, you need to sell cars, you need to sell cars. No, I'm saying, Susan, how many cars would it take for you to pay off this tuition? Oh, I need to sell this many cars. Okay, this is what we should do to help sell this many cars, right? I'm not focused just on the overarching vision. I am now taking Susan's vision and implanting in, like, when we figure out how we need to help you sell these 20 cars so you can help pay off your son's college tuition, that's going to get us to this goal. Or maybe you sell e-commerce and you're selling you sell clothes or whatever. Okay, we're going to help 100,000 people be wearing our brand. Okay, so this person, what do you need? What is your goals? What are your wants? Oh, I want to be able to buy a new house. Okay, listen. Well, if we do this, if we get the content to get this many views every single day, we'll be able to make money where you can get a raise so you can get your new house. But that's going to help the overarching vision of getting 100,000 people wearing the brand. So now you see where you're able to create unity and vision. Now you help your people with their personal visions that go into the overarching vision, right? Most leaders, most business owners, they're only worried about them. And I want to be honest with you. I want you to write this down. Make sure you write this down. Your people do not care about your business as much as you do. Your employees don't care about your vision and your business as much as you do. So they're never going to care about, you can give all this all day and just say, why don't we have this? No, you have to be able to say, okay, this is the overarching vision for what I want, but I need to implement what my people want also. So we talked about T, truth. We talked about our relationships. We talked about you. Unity. S is success. And I know success is like just success. Yeah, success. What is success? Okay, so there's two ways you create success. By believing, hopefully I spelled that right. By believing in what you want. Sorry if I have terrible handwriting. And by being able to lead people to get what they want. And what happens when you do the first three things right? When you build a business off of trust and honesty and not loyalty, when you create relationships, when you have unity, success is going to start happening. And what do you need to do when you start getting success? You want to make sure you check this one thing that stops tons of leaders. This is what kills most business owners and leaders in their organizations. It's this 3-letter word. Ego. When you get more success, when you have a leader, they start feeling themselves. They start saying, oh, it's because of me, blah, blah, blah. You have people in your team that start to become egocentric. You need to be able to control this thing right here, your ego. Can you control that so that way you can keep leading people to get what they want, keep believing in what you want, the overall vision, so you can continue to have success. And not only that, you need to make success, whatever new success you get when you start hitting levels, make the top the bottom. What does that mean? When I reach this level of success, that becomes the standard. That has to start becoming the standard you hold your team to. Why? Because whatever's not growing is dying. Nothing stays stagnant. It's either growing or dying. So you have to figure out, is my business growing to a level, or is it being stagnant? Is it dying? Is it reversing back? So how do I make that happen? I keep the top to bottom. So when I reach a new level, we go from $10,000 a month to $20,000 a month. Now my new standard is $20K. Now I'm still gonna, if my sales drop back down to 15, or what happens if my sales drop to 8K? I'm not gonna get frustrated. I'm not gonna get mad, but I'm gonna figure out, okay, what are we doing wrong? What do we need to tweak to get back to our floor? And when you lead the people to get what they want, you have to say, okay, if we get to floor, have I been building my business off of trust, or did I start building off loyalty? Have I been lacking on building relationships in my business? Am I lacking on building the unity and creating the common vision and seeing what people's visions are inside of this? And then you'll start to see the holes that you have in your business that is allowing your business to go down where you can get it back up. So we talked about the 4, and the last thing is probably one of the most important things, but also one of the hardest things to do, which is, the last one is time. And what does time mean? The greatest leaders, the best leaders, are patient. And we live in a society today where we want a microwave society. We want things to come quick. We want things to happen fast. But in order to be a great leader, you have to be patient. And what is patience? Look at the definition of patience. It is the ability to not get angry or frustrated when the success you want is delayed, right? So if you have to go through delay, if you have to go through a hiccup, a speed bump, are you getting upset and angry? Are you cussing your team out? Are you yelling at your team? Are you just firing people and just like being irate? Are you getting frustrated? Are you getting overwhelmed? You start overthinking. You start not being able to make decisions. Well, are you patient? Now, patience doesn't mean be still. It doesn't mean not work. Patience simply means I'm not going to get angry or upset that things take time, right? How do I know I'm a patient leader? It's when I have new team members, when we're doing different things to go to different levels. I don't get upset through what we call the learning curve. Most business owners get frustrated. Most business owners start micromanaging. Most business owners start not giving their team ownership. Most business owners and leaders, they start getting frustrated, overwhelmed because they can't be patient through the learning curve. What's the learning curve? The time it takes, where time and skill meet. Right? When somebody first starts with you, they may have skill, but they may lack time. So they can only be in this area. But as they have more time and they gain skill, they get right here. Can you last to the point where they may mess up? They may make mistakes so they can get to this point. Right? And we'll end on this. I remember I was teaching one of the people in my sales team how to sell, how to do a sales call. And they sucked. But instead of me just being, I can't wait, we got to hit this number, and I just do all the sales calls, and I say, here, I'm just going to take your sales calls and do them. No, I let them fail. And that person eventually became one of my top salespeople. Why? Not because they were the most skilled and not because they were the smartest or the greatest person, because I allowed myself to get them more time and have them see and allow them to cultivate and be patient to where we would start smashing sales goals, because I was focused on the trust framework. And listen, if you are a business owner, if you're a leader, follow that framework and you're going to see the success you want to see. So listen, keep doing that. Keep moving. Trust. What is it? Truth, relationships, unity, success, time. And you do that, watch your leadership increase exponentially year after year after year.